Okay, so that's to Blender tutorial. I'm probably gonna divide this tutorial in several parts because I don't want to make a 3-hour long video. So the first things you want to do is download Daz Studio. You're gonna have the link in the description. You just have to download Daz Studio. It's totally free and it comes with several essentials that are also free, and that's what you're gonna use to make your character. Okay. So after you download Daz Studio and you install Daz Studio, then you download the essentials, then we're gonna go, let me delete this. You're gonna open Daz Studio and we're gonna start working from here. So this comes in the essentials, it's Genesis 9. I will recommend you to use Genesis 9. You can use other, but I will recommend Genesis 9 because it's the base, it works for male and female, so I think it's the best one to start. So you're gonna load that. You're gonna wait for it to load. Okay guys, I'm at work, so I'm gonna be pausing a lot. It is what it is. I will come back in a second. Okay, so I'm back, and now that you have your character load, it hasn't loaded yet because anyway. Okay, we're gonna wait for that. Okay, there we go. So now that you have your character, what you're gonna do is you're gonna expand this, okay? And you're gonna delete all this. All that, gone. Now you're gonna mark your Genesis 9, you're gonna go to parameters, and you're gonna go to display, that's great. Let me find it. Okay. So you're gonna go here to resolution level and you're gonna change that to base. Basically, you're gonna mark your character, go to general, resolution level, base. And here in view subdivision level, you're gonna turn that to 0. Render subdivision level minimum, 0. After that, what you're gonna do is you're gonna go to file and you're gonna go to export. Now I'm gonna export it as morph. Morph to be done. God damn it. Okay, you're gonna save that. Now in here, you want to make sure that you select Daz Studio and that to turn it to 1%. Okay, you can leave this as it is, but make sure you put that to 1%, and you're gonna hit accept. Okay. Now we're gonna go to Blender. We're gonna open Blender. We're going to delete all this. We're gonna go to File, Import, and Object. And give me 1 second, guys. I have to work again. Okay. So you're gonna import. You're gonna look for your morph to do, and the scale. You're gonna put it to 100 in here. Sorry, you're gonna leave it as 1 in here. Okay. Split by object. You're gonna take that off. Validate meshes. You're gonna take that off. Make sure that your presets are like this, and you're gonna import the objects. Okay. Now what you're gonna do in here is you're gonna select your mesh. You're gonna add modifier. You're going to generate multi-resolution modifier. You're gonna subdivide by 1 or 2 depending how detailed you want your sculpt. Okay. And this sculpt, you can either do it yourself or you can commission someone to do this sculpt for you the same way they sculpt sims, they can do the sculpt for you. Okay, it's exactly the same thing. So you're just gonna go to object mode, you're gonna go to sculpt mode, you're gonna mark, very important, you're gonna mark a sculpt base mesh, because at the end of this, we're not gonna apply that modifier because we need this geometry to have the exact same amount of geometry as the one in Daz. Okay, we cannot add geometry to this and we cannot subtract geometry to this. We cannot add vertex group, we cannot change vertex groups, we have to leave it as it is. So all you're gonna do in here is just sculpt, okay? So basically this is the same as sculpting a sim, for example. It's literally the exact same. You can do your character as you wish. It's up to you. You can turn this into a male. You can turn this into a female. This is up to you. So I'm not gonna do a full scope process on this at all. I'm just gonna change it a little bit for you to be able to see what you can do with it. So yeah, I'm just gonna do a little bit of very basic sculpting with my mouse, and then we're gonna import back to Daz Studio. Okay, so I'm just gonna be doing that. It's just for you to have a rough idea and for you to see that this is exactly like doing a sim. Like it's the same thing. You can sculpt your character as you want. You can sculpt the face. You can sculpt the body. You can make it whatever you want it to be. Okay, so let's put some booty in there. Okay. So yeah, basically you can turn this avatar in whatever you wish this avatar to be. It can be more of a detailed sculpt, it can be less of a detailed sculpt. It's honestly up to you. It's totally up to the person, and you can make it whatever you want. And you can sculpt the face, no problem. You can sculpt the body, no problem. You can do anything basically. And smooth, yeah. And of course, it's a mesh that has a more, way better resolution than the Sims. It's a mesh that has a way better uh, proportions than the Sims. I always bugged me that the Sim has the arms like extremely tiny. That always bugs me. But anyway, yeah, you can just do whatever you want, guys. And if you want to, you don't know how to sculpt yourself and you want to commission someone, for that someone is exactly, if they know how to sculpt, it's the exact same as doing a sim, so they can do this perfectly. There's no difference. It's actually easier than a sim. It doesn't take as much work as sculpting a sim. So once you're done with your sculpt, as you can see, I didn't do much here. You're gonna remove this modifier, and as you can see, the scope is still there. Okay. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to File. We're gonna go to Export, Object. I'm gonna name it Morph Done. And you want to make sure you don't delete this object file once it's done, okay? Because in case you lose your morph for whatever reason, you reinstall Daz, this is the morph of your character. So you don't want to lose that, okay? Now we're gonna put a scale to 100%. We're gonna take all of this off. Make sure you take all of that off. And we're gonna export. Okay, now we're gonna go back to Daz Studio. We're gonna go to Edit, Figure. We're gonna go to Shape, Morph Loader Pro. Okay, you make sure that that is like that. You make sure this is up to 1, I think. No, sorry, 100. That should be on 100. 100 or 1? Oh my god, I'm so confused right now. Anyway, you choose more files, and you're gonna choose Morph Done. And you're gonna open it and hit accept. And you're gonna see loading morph done, create a morph successfully. And now what you're gonna do is select your Genesis 9, and you're gonna look for the name of your morph. I name it Morph Done. You can see that it's here. And now if I put it to 100%, you can see a change. And that's basically how you create your avatar, okay? So now, if you go to texture mode, which I'm gonna have to censor and edit later, right now the avatar has no texture and has no eyes and has no anything. So what I'm gonna do is delete this Genesis 9, add a new one that will have the eyes and blah, 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 blah. We're going for it. Okay, let's load our morph. Let me check. Am I recording? Yes, I am. I have to make sure every time because I gaslight myself into thinking I'm not recording. Um, okay, so now our new Genesis 9 loaded with eyes, with eyebrows, with whatever. And now again, we're gonna do the same. We're gonna look for our morph. And how we are gonna look for our morph is we're gonna go to edit. We're gonna go to figure, shape, morph loader pro, choose more files, morph done, open, accept. Morph created successfully. We're gonna go morph. Usually it should save. I don't know why it didn't save, but it usually should save in here. It didn't do it. I don't know why, but it didn't do it. Okay. And now you have your your morph completely loaded, and you can, again, as I said, you can do anything you want with this. You can sculpt the face to be your perfect avatar. You can sculpt the body to be your perfect avatar. And in addition to that, if you want to, you can download some pre-made morphs. I have several in here, like I have a shape done actually, that you can shape your avatar like he's um, with sliders basically. So, for example, this is pre-made morph. You change the shape of your avatar, okay? So you can play with those sliders. If you download some of them, you can just play with those sliders till you are happy with how your character looks. So what we're gonna do now is we are gonna texture this avatar. Give me 1 second, guys. Okay, so we're back and we have our character here, and what we were going to do now, it was texture our character. So we're gonna go down to the materials, and we're gonna go to the essentials for Genesis 9 materials, and here you have a bunch of skins that come default with the Genesis 9 essentials. But something you could do is you could take any other character and use their skin. As long as it is a Genesis 9 figure, the skin will work, okay? What it won't work is the Genesis 8, Genesis 3, all that, because it's a different UV layout, so that's not gonna work. But as long as it's a Genesis 9, you could just browse for a Genesis 9 character, see if the skin it has, you like it, and then use it on your own character. So for now, I'm just gonna get the very basic skin. Just want a very basic skin. Materials, array. I'm gonna go with array. And we're gonna go for feminine. Oops. And here you can see that it comes by default with some pre-made skins. So I'm gonna be using this one. It's basically just select your character and you apply the skin, and the program does the job for you. You didn't really have to learn much, at least for this. And now you have your skin, which it looks weird because I sculpted it weird, so you have one pointing to one side and the other one to the other. But I just did a quick sculpt, so that's normal. You can adjust that with Photoshop if you wanted to. Doesn't really matter. You don't even have to adjust the sculpt, just the texture. Like you can select that with the lasso tool and just move it a little bit, and that will be fine. Okay, now we're gonna go for the eyes. I'm gonna use the same eye material that she has in here. Okay, and give me what have I here? Okay, so that's the eye material supply. You have a bunch of eyebrow colors in here too, which is eyebrows. I need to select the freaking eyebrows and I can apply that. So eyelashes, you can change the material of the eyelashes. You can make it thicker, you can make it bigger. There's a bunch of morph and a bunch of eyelashes and eyes and eyebrows and all of that materials that you can download. Eyebrow card style, here it is. Eyebrows, you can change the color and all that. So you can make it thinner, you can make it thicker. whatever. So that's up to you. That's purely customization. That depends on how much that's content you want to download and what you want to do. Give me 1 second, guys. Okay, that depends exclusively up to you what you want to download, and it's basically this part is like create a sim. Literally, you just pick up the skin, pick up the eyebrows, pick up those type of thing. So let's say that you have a bunch of eyes here too, like the sclera of the eyes, you have all that. So the color of the eye, like let's say I want to change that eye color, just double click it. It's literally create a scene, like it doesn't have too much size. It's not something that is hard to do. I don't know always the eyes when you apply the materials, it take a little bit, but it's really not heavy. Okay, so let's say that that is done. Something that is good about that. Let's say that you have your character already done. This is my character, okay? It's already perfectly sculpted, perfectly textured, everything. Something that you can do is that you can use the wolf. God damn it. Let me just look for poses in here between my content because that's gonna be easier. You can just use the poses that come from Daz. Doesn't matter the morph that you have, and that is very, very comfortable. You flip it on, and you just have the poses, and that's very comfortable. So now I'm just hitting Control C in here. So you can use, it's the same with the clothes. You can just use the clothes that come from Daz and dress it like in the same exact way that you use create a sim. Okay, it's exactly the same. So it's a very comfortable tube. So what I have, me personally, I have, wait, let me save this real quick because I'm gonna use it later for this tutorial. Me personally, I have Lilith, new volume. Let me Lilith. I have version 13. God damn it. I have her in here, and I have her with the materials not correct because I did adjustments to her on Blender, so she really doesn't have like the correct skin that she has in Blender. So if you do changes on Blender, that we're gonna go to that part now. But if you do changes on Blender, what I do basically always that I do a render is I put the pose from here, I put the clothes from here, I do all that in here. And once I'm done with that, I basically export her to Blender, and I have this over here. This was the volume. Skin, this blend file over here, which is her skin already fixed. Okay, so it's her skin already fixed, and what I do is I just take the file that is wrong in Daz. I exported already dressed, already everything with the pose and all that. I exported to Blender, and then once it's on Blender, I just append the materials from that blend file that you saw and just replace the one that come from Daz from this with those ones. So that makes it way easier for me. Okay, so let's say that your character is ready to use and you want to pictures with it. Sorry, your character is ready to use. You can have piercings, you can have tattoos. I'm not gonna do anything of that right now, but you can add all that. So what you're gonna do now, I do want to put in a post though. I want to import it with a post, so clothing, poses, just want a regular post like this. Okay, perfect. And now what you're gonna do is you're gonna use Diffeomorphic to import to Blender, from Dash to Blender. I'm gonna leave a link on the description on a tutorial. Oh my god, a tutorial on how to download Diffeomorphic and how to god damn it, how to use it and all of that. Okay. So to use Diffeomorphic, you're gonna find it over here. We're gonna go to export to Blender, desktop. I'm gonna name it just like that. and we're gonna hit save. Okay. Usually what you will do is save as scene, not save, but save as, because you don't want this to be your default. You want the A pose to be your default. Okay. So this over here, that file over here, you should save it in a secure location. And then every time you're gonna work, you're gonna put your pose, you're gonna put your clothes, you're gonna put whatever you're gonna put, and then you're gonna save as to exporter. So right now I'm gonna save as to Blender and save it. It's gonna save there real quick. Now I'm gonna hit export to Blender. It's gonna, don't change the name, it has to have the same name. You're gonna hit save, and it's gonna tell you that it's done. Okay, so now you can close this if you want. Am I recording? Yes, I am. Okay, now you're gonna delete all that, and we're gonna go Daz setup, easy import as. We're gonna find our character to Blender. This you don't have to do it, but I like to do it because I don't like the red and cream color that it comes with, and you're gonna hit easy import as. Okay, and there you will have your Daz character imported. It comes imported with the pose, so you can do like learn a little bit of that and learn how to fit the clothes and all of that, and that will help you out to like put like physics on the clothes and all of that. Okay, so let me put this on material mode real quick. Okay, I'm actually gonna put it on EV, and I'm gonna add an DRI to this to see what the hell I'm doing. Okay, I'm gonna set this to 2. Right now I'm just picking the HDRI. Okay, that's fine, that works. Okay, I'm gonna hit transparent so the background doesn't disturb me. Now what we're gonna do is, for me, like this character is ready to use, but I have like a very good PC. So I could leave it just like that, but if you have a PC that is not that great, you're gonna do some tweaking here, okay? So the first you want to do is select your mesh, and you want to go here, and this by default is on 3. You don't want 3, you want either 1 or 2, depending on how good your PC is. If you, as you can see, 1 is already good, like doesn't really need 2. I put 2 because I'm a little bit like that way, but you really don't need 2 subdivisions. You can just leave it at 1, and 1 is totally fine. Give me 1 second, guys. Okay, so now we're gonna do some tweaks to this skin. So basically, so you get familiar with it, this is the materials that you almost always are gonna have, and this is the body. Let me show you how the UV of a Daz character is distributed so you can understand. So you have basically, give me 1 second there. So you have basically the head, and you have an image for the hair, for the head. You have the arms separate, you have the mouth cavity separate, you have the body separate. So that's what it makes these textures to be good, because instead of having 1 to 1,000 image for the entire thing like you have in the Sims, instead you have here that same size of an image just for the head. So the quality is very different because you have a lot of resolution just in the head. So what we're gonna do now is do some tweaks in case you have a PC that is not that great, but if you have a PC that is great, you can leave it just like that, and that is fine. Okay, give me 1 second, guys. Okay, so in the case that you don't have a very good PC, what you want to do is this node. We're gonna take it off. Okay, we're working on the body right now. Okay, so we're gonna put this straight up in here. You're like, oh, she's white right now. Why? I wanted my previous skin color. If that's the case, you just use saturation node and play with that to go back to the skin tone that you wanted. Okay, you can play with that node. You can either use this node, or if you want more control, you can play with color ramp. Okay, and the result is the same. Or you can, or you can put this node back in. You can, instead of mix, you can put overlay, and then you can change the color to whatever skin tone you want. Okay, so that's up to you. For now, I'm just gonna leave it like that because I don't want to start matching the arms and the head and whatever. But what you can do is, when you have that hue saturation node, okay, let's say that you put a hue saturation node because you want to saturate more that or desaturate it or whatever the hell you want to do. What you're gonna do is you're gonna Control C, you're gonna go to the head, you're gonna do exactly the same you did in the other part. You're gonna delete this, you're gonna Control V that, and you're gonna put it. And it does the same. Now your head matches your body, okay? So in this case, I'm not gonna use any hue. I'm gonna delete this, and what I'm gonna do is basically I'm gonna go around deleting all these Daz nodes that add heaviness to my model for no freaking reason. So I'm gonna do that. Just gonna match the base color image to the base color. Okay. So we can leave it like this. This we can leave it like this. The fingernails. If you want to do fingernails, like, goddamn, like that's the natural one. But if you would like to paint the nails in one color or whatever you want to do, you can just hit this, create a new material, and now you have nail painting. You know, that's up to you. That's whatever you want to do. Okay, so now we have matched. Everyone has the same color. Yes, the skin is matched, and we're gonna continue working on that. So that's all W. So this over here, this node over here, this is the subsurface of your character. This is how the light hits your character. You know this? I don't know how to explain subsurface, but I'm gonna try my best. Let me add a light source so you can understand, in case you don't know what subsurface scattering is, so you can understand what it is. So just let me add a light source in there. And I'm gonna bump this up a lot. Okay, put this on cycles and GPU compute. So right now, as you can see, this model, the subsurface is not really working. The subsurface is this. Do you see this red thing? That's the subsurface scattering. Is basically when the light hits the skin and it goes through the veins and all whatever the hell, and it scatters. I'm very bad explaining this, but I really hope that you're understanding me. But anyway, what we're gonna do is, instead of having this hell of a node that we have in here right now, let me go to the head instead. Instead of having this hell of a node, what we're gonna do is we're gonna rearrange this to make it work simpler. So this is just source surface map. We're gonna go to subsurface. I'm gonna put this in here, okay? And now you can control with this, you can control how much or how little subsurface scattering you want. That is completely up to you, okay? That depends on each one. Maybe you want a more realistic model, a less realistic model. Just have in mind that subsurface does add render time to your render, okay? Have that in mind. So now we have our roughness image, and we're gonna connect it to the roughness. There we go. Now we have this roughness too. We're gonna do this. Instead, what we're gonna do is mix shader. Sorry, mix color. Confused. Mix color. We're gonna put that node in, and we're gonna connect this. And now you have your roughness. Again, and now this node over here is what is going to control the roughness of your character. But again, I will prefer, you can do this. Sorry, this node over here is what is controlling the roughness. Like, you could do this, but I personally, if you don't have a computer, they will like go too much too good into it. I will just recommend you to delete this completely, put the roughness in, then you can add a color ramp. Okay, and now you can control the roughness with the color ramp. It's completely up to you what you want to do. Okay, you can also use a multiply node and it will work the same. So yeah, you have that. And now to finish, you have your normal map. You're gonna put that thing onto the normal when I find it. Change animation to file cloud specular normal map over here. I'm gonna put that there. Here you can control how much of the skin texture you're gonna get if you're seeing that. Okay, that's up to you again. You decide how much skin texture you want. That's total custom to your liking. You can bump it up to insanity or you can not have any at all. That's up to you. And now we can put this node in here, delete this one, and now it's a basic material that is not at all heavy. Like probably you will have seams heavier than this model. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna do that adjustment to basically the body, the arms, the mouth cavity, the legs, and the toenails. Any change in nodes that you do in these ones, you're gonna want to make it in the rest. Okay, so I'm gonna pause it for a second, do those changes, and show you how it looks. Okay, so after you have your materials simplified, you can customize your character even further. So let's say I want to add some, I don't know, makeup, moles, birthmarks, whatever you want. I'm gonna do this with a mouse, but if you have like a tablet to draw in the computer, that will be way easier for you. So I'm gonna pick up the head, make sure you pick up this image, and you can just go to texture pane, okay? You can pick up your color, like, let's pick up something like this. Now you can, okay, I'm gonna pick this brush instead, and let's make this strength half of it. You can add a mold, I don't know, you can draw and add your own custom tattoos. You can basically do whatever you want. That's up to you. And after that, you're done doing whatever you want to do. You're gonna just see the name of this image. I'm gonna just Control C. I'm going to go to my UV editor, Control V to find the exact same image. There it is, the modification image. Save as. And now you can save it for the future, okay? So I'm gonna save it like that. When you do your materials, make sure after you simplify them that any values that you do for customization, for example, if I put in the body, I like the body with 0.5 strength on the normal map, make sure that then you put 0.5 on the normal map in all other materials. So it's not, so it's matching, okay? Just make sure you do that. The same with the roughness. If you change the roughness, make sure you change it in all of them. Okay, so now basically what you can do is you can go to File, you can clean up all these materials, you can external data, automatically pack, save as, and save it as your skin file, and save it. And now what you're gonna do every time is, let's start a new blend, okay? Let's say that you finish Daz. Am I recording? Yes, I am. Okay, guys, give me 1 second. Okay, so now each time that you're gonna use your character in Daz, let's say you put already the close, the pose, you did the basics of what you're gonna do. So you're gonna import it in, okay? And when you import it, don't put the material mode yet. Just select the body, make sure you put the amount of sort divisions you want. You're gonna go to File, Append. You're gonna look for your skin file. You're gonna go to Materials, and you're gonna append your materials. Once you did that, you go to the Material tab, and you're gonna replace the materials you already have with the ones that you made. Okay, fingernails, I think I didn't change that. And basically you're just gonna change them for the ones you have in that file. So right there, mouth cavity 01, arms 01, head 01, and body 01. Okay, and now you're gonna clean up because you don't need all those extra materials in there. And now you can build your render however you build your render usually. You have your character already posed, but of course you can modify the pose if you will like to. Like it works. I think the rig is way better than a Sims rig. So yeah, basically it's from this point it's like using a sim. Whatever is your workflow that you use for the Sims, you can do it with this character, and it's the same thing. But I just wanted to give you like the basics of how to create a character in Daz Studio. So for me, I'm just gonna show you to finish this tutorial. I'm just gonna show you my workflow, my particular workflow with Lilith. So you see what I do. So I'm gonna pause it now because she takes a while to load. So I'm gonna pause it now, and I'll see you in Daz. Okay, so I have Lilith over here, and my usual workflow when I'm making a render, I start on Daz. I have my base file. My base file is like this, naked, no clothes, no anything, just the thing that I always use, like her piercings, nothing else. I always keep her clean, no post, no nothing. So my usual workflow will be going to first put the post. Pose. I'm gonna pick any pose right now because I really don't mind. Can I have a simple model pose, please? Standing. That works. Okay, sometimes if you see that happens because of your morph, you can just literally emotes. So like it's not how work at all, and you can like adapt it in Blender to match even more. So you can roughly do it from here, but you can do it on Blender also, and that is fine. Whatever is more comfortable for you, do that, okay? So we have our pose, and now what I pick on here is my clothes. So I'm just gonna put her any clothes, post converter, where this is 9, clothing. So I'm just gonna put her. Okay, we have a full set, full outfit in here. Let's do that. Okay, I do not need the purse, so I'm just gonna take it off. And we have the rest of the outfit. If you see that is happening with the feet, usually these packs that brings clothes, when it brings heels, it also brings the pose for the feet, and that fixes it, okay? You just have to apply it. So I have my pose. Now what I don't like from this is the fact that those things are doing that, like you can see there. I'm gonna take off the bracelets, and probably I will do a separate. I could just adjust them from here, but they're not gonna show, and I don't want them, and it's just more geometry that is not really gonna show on my render. so I'm just gonna delete it. So what I'm gonna do now, we're gonna go to the simulation settings tab. I'm gonna make sure everything is like this. You can change it depending on your render, and you can like investigate around and see what worked best for you. But for me, I just keep it like this. And we're gonna hit simulate, okay? So what that's going to do is that is basically going to apply. This doesn't work with every Daz close, but most of them do have the D-force, it's called D-force, do have D-force trace, so you can simulate the close in Daz itself, and then maybe do a little bit of adjustments in Blender, but it looks pretty good from Daz. So what I'm gonna do is that, and now I'm just gonna pause it and see you back when that is done. Okay, so now the D-force is done, and this is how it looks like. I'm gonna be fixing that on Blender. I really don't mind too much because I can fix that like sculpting, so it's not a big deal. And what we're gonna do is the exact same. We're gonna go to File, Save As, Scene, always save as. You don't want to save on top of your base file. You want to keep your base file as it is. Okay, so I'm gonna save this file as practice. There we save it. And then I'm gonna go to my scripts, Diffeomorphic, export to Blender, save. And there you have it. And now you can close Daz. You're done. That's all you're gonna do in Daz. It's basically your create a sim. It's the 3D model version of create a sim. So we're gonna go to the Daz setup. It's import Daz, desktop, practice. I'm gonna change this real quick. Oops. And import. We're gonna wait till that imports. Okay. Now the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna touch this. My lord, what happened? Oh, okay, it's charging the materials. That might take a little bit dependent. Okay. So the first thing I'm gonna do is set my subdivision level how I want it. In my case, I use 2. Then you're gonna go model by model, seeing how many subdivision levels everything has, and you're gonna set it up to what you think is appropriate. Sometimes the mesh has 4 subdivision levels that it doesn't need at all, so that's just a waste of time. Something that can happen also is that if you look right here, the persons are in the wrong place, a little bit to the wrong direction. So what you're gonna do is touch the person's origin to geometry. Same with anything you want to move, and usually sometimes that's the thing that comes from Daz are locked in place. So if you're trying to move something and you see you can't, just go to the item and unlock them in here. Okay, just gonna go unlock, and now you can move it. So I'm just gonna move this a little bit to the right place. There we go. I'm gonna make them a little bit smaller because I like them a little bit smaller. I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna do exactly the same. I'm just gonna make it a little bit smaller because I don't like her piercings that big. Gonna take this dress, I'm gonna go sculpt mode and fix those little details right there. Smooth out that body there. Smooth it out. There we go. A little bit of smoothing here. Like it does say, I'm not gonna try to be a perfectionist in here. I'm just gonna make a basic smooth in case you have these problems with the clothes, for you to know how to fix it. It's not hard to fix. It doesn't take too long. It's just tick, tick, and you're done, basically. So now my to always do step is go and append my fixed skin. Okay, so that's what I'm gonna do next. Skin, materials, arm, body, head, and legs in my case. It's the only thing I want to change. So I'm gonna go here, legs, change to legs. This depending on if you keep some of the dual love flow materials and the Daz original materials, these can bug a little bit on this step, and that's normal. It just is because it's loading the materials, and it's a little bit of heavy material, so it takes a little bit. Okay, now I have my skin changed, so what I'm gonna do is file, I'm gonna clean it up, and I'm gonna save it. Okay, and now I'm gonna put it to texture mode. If by any chance you put texture mode and Blender close on you, it's probably either one of your piercings or the close or something like that. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna leave it in object viewport shading, and you're gonna change your materials without seeing the shading. Okay, so how you can see, she in particular is a little bit heavy. I run my computer to the maximum, so I really don't mind, but I already teach you how to change that. So you can also change, if the dress is kind of heavy, you can just change the material of the dress, and that's fine. You can either change it completely like I just did, or you can just go ahead and go to the material notes the same as you did with the skin, and the same. You delete everything that is in the middle and you put the color to color, roughness to roughness, blah 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 blah. I'm seeing a little bit of a lag. Is that a lag or is the dress like that? I'm not sure. Okay, go scope mode here real quick because I'm not sure. Okay. Okay, that makes more sense now. So yeah, basically what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna be replacing some materials totally in here, but again, you can just select the thing, go to shader editor and like change it. But in this particular case, like in jewelry, in most of it, for example, it's just metal. One of them is a metal material, so you can just change metal for metal, try to look for one that is the same color and just change it. The top, this is like a glass type of thing that is heavy for no freaking reason, so I want to make it jade, for example. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do this instead. You know, it's not really necessary that you keep the materials you have. You can just change either the notes or you can just replace it completely, and it works just fine. I just picked one of the heaviest shades and materials that they had in WonderKit, but that's okay. Okay, so let me change that material real quick. I don't know why I picked that. But yeah, basically you get the idea. Metal, we change it by, how the hell is it called? I'm gonna go for silver because that's the one I'm gonna use for all the piercings. So you don't have to do this, it's not needed, and if your PC can take it, that's great. You can just leave it as it is. I personally just do it just because I like more this silver material than the one that comes by default with these persons. But if you import the model and the model works fine, you don't really have to change anything. Like, you don't have to, if the clothes work fine, it doesn't make your PC slowed, then you're fine. You don't have to change anything. So I'm gonna just do a quick cleanup in here. Okay. And she's supposed to have tights that I am not seeing. Okay, I think I missed something in here. Am I gaslighting myself? I will swear she had tights. Earring, ring, eyebrows. So with the eyebrows and the eyes, it's the same as you do with the body. Okay, guys. You can what is it? Just select the mesh, and you have the materials right here, and you can simplify them as you want. If you want to simplify them, just for you to know, are the Daz nodes, these green ones. They say Daz refraction, Daz overlay, Daz blah blah blah. You can just change that, okay? You can just simplify and put this to this to here. It's like mix and match. The same with the eyebrows. In my case, I always have to pick the eyebrows and make it lighter. I don't simplify the notes for my eyebrows. I just go ahead and make it lighter. That's it. And that's pretty much it. And and now from here is basically do your picture as you usually do your picture. I don't know, you go to camera, you set up your camera. Like from here is literally the same, they're doing a same picture. So what you do from here, from this point, that is up to you. But yeah, basically this is pretty much, I think I pretty much cover everything at the end. So yeah, I don't have anything else to say. Basically, let me put you this on cycles so you can kind of see how it looks like. And I think that's all for the tutorial. Like, I don't think I can teach you anything else. This is basically what I do before starting to do my picture in Blender. So, bye-bye, guys.